Sup, everybody? This is Karak with ACG. Let's end 2020 on a positive note. These are going to be some awards, mostly positive, some negative, from me about the games that we played in 2020. This is the Hidden Gem Award, and that's right. I did decide to start on something positive because it's easy to think that 2020 only brought a couple excellent titles, but that is far from correct. And while I knew that some were coming out, I anticipated what I would enjoy about others. There were a number of mysteries. There were those titles where their histories were clouded in weird development and switching to dates, like a couple who pretends getting married is going to fix their relationship issues. And whether I expected it or not, it was a surprising title. And yeah, it could be Hades, but come on. More was known about that game prior to release than many other titles. Really, the only thing about Hades that wasn't known was how many Indie Game of the Year categories that suckered be on. To me, though, the easiest choice for this is Phoenix Rising. Phoenix was known simply due to changing its name because Monster Energy Drink was going to sue him. I want you to think about that. That's right, a video game where Monster did not want the extra cash possibilities of being connected to it, and that does not bode well. The literal whore of Babylon and merchandise companies couldn't work out a deal with them, so basically, probably no one could. And I think that that's a good thing because seeing Phoenix down a sugar-free monster as a heal-up would have probably crushed my spirit. Or hearing one of the storytellers wax poetic about the elixir of the monster, piping our hero full of victory juice. It just would have ended it for me. And you might be thinking, hidden? What? Listen, this thing was so lost even Ubisoft didn't know when it was coming out. They hemmed and they hawed and they changed the name and then they smacked it right in the middle of the center of two of their larger franchises releases. It didn't help that the characters look like fucking World Police mock-ups. Unreliable narratives aside, speaking terrible accented voices by the way, Phoenix was a D&D game come to life. Half of the games I play, I love those moments where you find this massive statue or some other awe-inspiring place. But like Ori did for platformers, making every moment a painting, Phoenix did that for third-person action-adventure games. The entire island from spot to spot was this vista of frozen-in-place giants, mythical creatures, crazy world design, and puzzle work. Imagine a world where every single thing you needed to do was connected to a Rubik's Cube, but it was almost halfway done, just enough left over for you to have to think a couple minutes, and then imagine you also love Rubik's Cubes, because if you didn't, Phoenix's gameplay and its particular style of puzzles is not going to light your fire. It was Phoenix's style of gameplay that I liked. It was switch hopping, it was box moving, 3D placement puzzles. It may not have been for you, but it was for me. Coming over any hill in that game and seeing enemies smashing through them in a short-lived battle of magic and swordplay, and then seeing a puzzle and that ability to take stock of it as I ran towards it. You really rarely had to stop and think about at least your first step. Instead, it was this dynamic feeling as you approached it, as you could sort of already guess what might needed to be done. And that made the puzzles feel organic, even though they absolutely were not. Oh, so Phoenix respected my time. It didn't kidnap me like so many other titles, and sure, kidnappings are just unwilling temporary adoptions, but no one wants to be involved in them. And it didn't hurt the game that aside from the main characters, it was beautiful. It was finding out what 8 crayons going to 64 felt like in grade school. To my surprise, the hidden part of all this is that it wasn't the average game I had expected, or even the short, somewhat enjoyable game that it had presented itself to be. It was 35 hours of exploration of new tactics, of secrets and travel. It was boss fights and battles lost when you push too far. It was a welcome respite from that massive 120-hour title, or the failures to deliver that were going to come after those. And when I think back through 2020, this game, as well as some others, are the ones that I will remember. The shining bright spots. Now, this game didn't sell well, so if you want another game in the series, you might as well start celebrating Wishington Eve, because it's probably not happening. But regardless of that, Phoenix to me is a high point, and while not a classic, it was a hidden title with a sense of mystery around it that paid off in the gameplay throughout it. Top-notch, an absolutely fantastic title that is here, and to many might have looked a little bit like a mobile game. But once you jumped in and started exploring and investigating that world and doing those puzzles, man, magical. So the next videos upcoming will be Game of the Year. We're going to do some Graphics of the Year. We're going to do some Sound Music of the Year. It's going to be a fun time. I hope you guys like these. Subscribe if you can. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Send it out to other people. Post it at whatever forum you can that talks about video games. Let's celebrate some of these awesome titles in 2020. And let's roll into 2021 and hope that somehow tomorrow isn't December 32nd.